and welcome to the Q Today show for May the 11th to May the 15th. I'm Allison Duddy, one of your hosts for this program.
Good day, and I'm your other host, Mitch Vick. Coming up after the news, we've got an exciting interview with Nate and Doreen LaMarche. Doreen was recently in talks about the exciting sport of roller derby and our new local team, the Gold Pane City Derby Girls. That's an awesome name. So stay tuned and check out Nate in conversation with Doreen LaMarche, aka Reenie Rink Rash.
Sounds like a good one.
That's awesome. Great names.
So before we get into the news, we just, of course, like to thank you for watching and remind you that our weekday show runs from Tuesday at 5 p.m. till Friday at 8 a.m. and our weekend offering from Friday at 5 p.m. to Tuesday at 8 a.m. We broadcast every day at 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m.
If you have any comments on the program, you can reach us by email at qtoday@qcatv.ca. If you'd like some information on how to sponsor us, you can give Nate a call at 992-3650. And on that topic, I just want to really encourage those. We're always looking for help at the show. If you want to be a volunteer and do some interviews, or you want to participate on the show as an anchor, we're always looking for that help. And feel free to give Nate a call, because we'd love to have you. So don't feel scared. Come on down. Also, we'd like to thank the Quesnel Caribou Observer for providing some of our news stories.
And remember, we just give the highlights here at Q Today, so if you want to read the full story on any of the stories that we cover here, pick up your copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer. Now for some news, Mitch.
Thank you, Allison.
This is heating up, isn't it?
It's getting a little hotter. So recently, as May 8th, 2012, City Council has passed a motion of censure regarding improper disclosure. So Quesnel City Council has passed a motion of censure regarding disclosure by Councillor Sushil Tapar. A motion of censure is a formal statement that Council is reprimanding one of its members for conduct they feel has violated the Charter. Specifically, several sections of the Community Charter that were of concern, most notably Section 90, which outlines what issues municipalities may or must discuss in camera, issues mostly related to labor, land, or legal. So it's reasonable to assume that the issues are resulting from Mr. Tapar's discussion comments of the departure of former city manager John Stesic. And I just thought I'd take a second. In camera is an interesting term. I wasn't quite sure exactly what it meant, and it comes from a Latin term. Camera in Latin means to see, and the word in Latin means not. So it's not seeing, so that's where that term comes from. And then back to the issue at hand, it would appear that Mr. Tapar has made some comments that he shouldn't have because they were meant to be not seen. Exactly. So as always, we'll keep everyone apprised of that story as it evolves, and it seems like it's going to continue to
I was just going to say, I think there's going to definitely be some more coming down the pipe on that one.
And we'll do our best to keep everyone informed of that.
Thanks a lot, Mitch.
Thank you.
So we have done a few stories recently on the new multi-center fundraising campaign, and the campaign committee has actually come out with a new program now to raise funds and prizes for the fundraising campaign. The committee has established an Air Miles account for the fundraising campaign, providing the opportunity to collect Air Miles on any purchasing that the fundraising campaign does. Chair of the fundraising committee, Eric Wickham, said that it also provides the opportunity for local community members and businesses to donate their Air Miles to the fundraising campaign through the transfer process that Air Miles has established. This provides another avenue besides financial support by which businesses and individuals can support the efforts of the fundraising committee. The committee plans on using Air Miles to purchase items that can be used as prizes for different community events and activities. The North Caribou Multi-Center Fundraising Campaign Air Miles number, and we'll try and get this on the bottom of the screen for you, is 8008-639-1070, and the community is encouraged to use this number when shopping at a business that supports the Air Miles program. Cards can also be provided to those that think that they would use one. So another interesting way of raising funds and prizes for getting that multi-center going.
They got a pretty creative team there.
Pretty innovative,
I've been pretty impressed.
I would agree there.
Yeah, I think we could meet that goal as long as those great ideas keep coming forward.
That's
so
great.
Good stuff. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks.
Next, we have a really, I thought it was a fantastically huge crime story that evolved recently in Quesnel. Fit for an episode on CSI. 3 men have been charged in a huge marijuana bust. Last Tuesday, the North District Integrated Marijuana Enforcement Task Force, that's a huge name, executed a search warrant on Rainbow Road, a rural residence in Quesnel. So what that task force comprised of is members of the RCMP from Prince George, from Williams Lake, and Quesnel, of course. And they sent the team in and they raided this home, and a home, of course, which had no furniture in it, and was a scene of many, many plants. 2,591 marijuana plants with a street value of $2.5 million. What was interesting about this story is that when they raided the home, the perpetrators were nowhere to be seen. And so they brought the dogs in, searched the property, and of course, the dogs did not pick up the scent, which was interesting. So the police went back into the home, and would you know it, these fellas had found a secret room in their home which they had built to try and evade police, and the dogs sniffed them out and they found these guys hiding in the walls. So I thought that was a really interesting twist to the story. All 3 men, so they found 3 men hiding in the walls, are facing charges of production of controlled substance and possession for the purpose of trafficking. And with that many plants, I can certainly see why. Of course, these 3 men are not from Quesnel. They're, in all likelihood, it's gang related, and they're from the Lower Mainland. And that's, of course, causing concern in the community. We have members, not even from our area, setting up shop in our area, which is of great concern to me. RCMP GROW initiative is a strategy which is looking after of coming to terms and trying to defeat these grow ops. This is a national strategy to combat grow ops and the organized crime groups who run them. So a very huge case here, and a little disturbing that it's in our own backyard. But I know I can thank on all of our behalfs this task force for finding this, defeating it, arresting the gentleman, and good end to this story.
That is scary, you know. Our little town,
yeah,
something that big, and you know, like you say, probably gang related. These guys are from the big city. You know, how much of this is going on out there?
Yeah, and
it's scary.
We're talking 2,500 plants. That's huge,
yeah.
And of course, in the residence, it wasn't even a residence anymore. Been gutted. All the infrastructure required to do this kind of grow up. So this is no small time.
Oh, and
bust.
they were obviously, you know, thinking ahead to have some sort of a secret room to hide in, and I mean that's
pretty organized stuff.
Exactly.
Kudos to the RCMP and the task force for putting an end to that one.
You bet. Thanks for that, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, the CNC Board of Governors recently approved a balanced budget for the 2012-13 school year during its regular scheduled meeting. The operating fund budget projects $48 million in revenues and expenses with a surplus of $24,690. CNC President John Bowman said there will be no suspensions or cancellations of existing services or programs, adding that the impact on students and the community will be very minimal. The college will be consolidating low enrollment class selections, reducing low enrollment courses, and will find savings through improved scheduling also. Several early retirement and voluntary severance packages and adjusted workload assignments have been granted. Unfortunately, Bowman said it has been necessary to issue 4 layoff notices to faculty members, 2 of which have options for a reduced workload. He added that all 4 could be rescinded before they come into effect on July 31st, and hopefully for those 4 employees they will be rescinded. So
well, with the budgets coming down the way they are, I think they've been pretty creative on how they address that, and hopefully you're right. Maybe those layoffs will get canceled at the last minute there. So hopefully. Next story we have is about our recent seniors meeting, which occurred on April 19th. Held by the Voice for North Caribou Seniors. And in that meeting, they identified 5 areas of concern by Chairman Peter Nielsen. He identified the issues as seniors housing, residential home care, hospital and health care, transportation, and seniors drivers licensing. Adam Shun of MLA Bob Simpson's office also spoke about Drive Able. And Drive Able, if we're not sure what that is, it's a program by the provincial government whereby if a physician requires one to be medically assessed to be able to operate a vehicle, they can force either a senior or anyone for that matter to do some testing, road testing and testing through a computer. Seniors have an issue with this sort of testing, basically because if they are required to do any of these tests, they have to travel to an out-of-town location such as Prince George or Kelowna. And to that end, seniors have created a petition basically arguing that they would, if they are compelled to do this kind of testing, medical testing, road testing, that they be able to do it in the community where they live. If you'd like to participate by signing on this petition, there is a petition available at KMAX, and there will also be petitions available at the next North Caribou, Voice of North Caribou Seniors meeting. And that meeting will be held on Thursday, March 17th at 2 p.m. at the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 94, and that, again, it's at 2 p.m. And if you have questions, you can certainly call Mr. Peter Nielsen at 992-7416. And yeah, so if you feel strongly, if you're a senior or not, if you feel strongly about the unfair testing practices of Drive Able, you can certainly have your voice heard by signing the petition. Another concern brought forward is for seniors to be very cognizant of scams that are going around right now. And the latest scam is seniors are being told that they're a recipient of a huge cash prize, and all they have to do, of course, is pay a processing fee to claim that prize. This, of course, is a scam. Do not send any money to collect your cash reward. So that's just another note to take note of. At the meeting on May 17th, the organization Voice for North Caribou Seniors will be focusing the conversation on one main topic, and that will be home care. So again, we hope to see you at that meeting on May 17th at 2 p.m. Thank you.
All right. Sounds interesting. As for the scam thing, you know, if somebody's asking you to pay money to get money, to win it like that, that's, yeah,
it makes sense.
Not right there.
If it's too good to be true, it's not going to happen, right?
And of course, those people know to take advantage of people in our society, such as our seniors, that, you know,
you betcha,
might be tricked into something like that.
Absolutely.
A little more easily.
And it's all about awareness.
Yeah.
So as long as everyone's made aware that this is what's going around, then at least people are prepared for that kind of trap.
So remember, if it sounds too good to be true,
it is.
It usually is, for sure. All right, next I've got just a few brief stories that were in the Observer this week. First up, Quesnel teachers are hosting a public forum to discuss the future of public education in Quesnel. That'll be on Wednesday, May the 30th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Legion. The forum will examine the new bills 22 and 36 and will include a brief presentation on the legislation, as well as a panel discussion with representatives from the Aboriginal community, QDTA, BCTF, lots of acronyms, QP, and UNBC. Everyone is welcome at that meeting. Next, in anticipation of the release of Stone Iris's newest EP, the band is touring through Alberta and BC with a stop in Quesnel Wednesday, May 16th at the Caribou Hotel. The Edmonton-based Stone Iris brings a blend of styles to the stage, including blues, rock, and reggae. There's no cover charge or tickets, so just drop by the Caribou Hotel on May 16th and get your groove on with Stone Iris. And lastly, in Relay for Life news, Kelly Eady, owner of Fountain Tire, has stepped up his support of Relay for Life to the supporter level with a $2,000 pledge. This picture was shown in this week's Observer. It shows Kelly with Relay for Life organizer Kathy Briggs. And just to remind you, Relay for Life is coming up soon, May the 26th. So get involved.
Lots going on with Relay for Life.
Yes.
Really organized.
They've had something in almost every paper.
Yep.
And it's good to see, you know, to get the word out there.
Yep.
It's a great cause, and it's a great event that we have. And so, yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Always happy to promote that one.
Absolutely. So moving along into sports, and let me tell you, Bushy Lake rumbled last Saturday night with a 12-match affair. The local Two Rivers Boxing Club had 5 fighters in the 12-match card. And it's important to note that they had boxers coming from as far as Revelstoke and Edmonton, as well as Prince George. All of the Two Rivers boxers were there to win, but we ended up with 2 wins on the night. First, we had Kyle, the motor, Tessier, and he had a grueling match against Anthony Ouellette of the Beverly Bronx Boxing Club out of Edmonton. Exhausted and bloodied, Tessier emerged the victor with a home crowd going bananas.
I guess.
And of course, that was such a compelling fight that the 2 boxers actually won the Kyle Mooney Award, which is for the bout of the night. So congratulations to Kyle on that tough win. The second win of the night came from Kyle Bulldozer Black. And of course, he's 11 years old, getting a good start at a young age in boxing. He beat Darian Cameron from Revelstoke, and they won together. Although Kyle won the bout, they won the Logan Reeve Award for being the youngest fighters. The main event of the night saw Dan Mayhem Mott versus Randall Graham in a seniors 165-pound bout, but unfortunately proved to be too much for Mott. So too bad. He really was training hard, as Coach Wally Dorn had noted, but he'll go back to the drawing board and do some more training. Also during the night, Greg the Punisher Petzel and Joey the Mechanic McEachran both gave it their alls in their bouts, but unfortunately they came up short. I happen to know both Greg and Joey. They're great kids. They work really hard at the boxing club, so I definitely wish them both well at their next event. And I know that they'll give it their all and do some extra training and extra strategizing on how to come successful next time. Coach Wally Dorn said there is room for some improvement. They are going to research and go back to the drawing board and do some more training. So the next time they come to do their fights, they'll be ready. So anyway, great night for the Bushy Lake event there.
It sounds like it would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe they'll make it an annual thing.
It sounds like they do travel around, and so they're traveling to Vancouver to participate in boxing matches. So it was great to see something come to Quesnel, and it's even better to see that we've built up a great club here. So others are coming to participate in our events. So it's fantastic, and kudos to Coach Wally. He's been a fixture in the boxing scene of Quesnel for years, and he does a great job with the kids. So
great thanks,
stuff.
Mitch. Also in sports, the Crossfire had their second home game of the season last week against the Prince George Shooters Pub Devils. You may remember Mitch told us last week about their season opening game in which they incurred a staggering 182 minutes in penalties. So in this game, the senior lacrosse team showed growth and played a more controlled game. However, they still fell short of beating the more experienced team, the Devils. The defense stayed tight until the end of the game, but the offense was unable to rally, resulting in a 15-4 final in favor of the Devils. So still a little bit of a blowout, but it is a brand new team, and they're learning as they go. They're still looking for new players. I guess the number of players on the team doubled between the first game of the season and this last game last week, but they're still looking for players maybe with a bit of experience, because there are a lot of players on the team who really don't know the game very well. Now James Reed managed to score a couple of points. Mitch McLean matched that while also adding an assist in that game, and Alec Gibbs also had an assist, and goalie Bob Mills managed 36 stops. The Crossfire are now heading out on the road next week for a game against the Twisted Cork Regional Security Stylers on Thursday at the Prince George Coliseum. So, sounds interesting.
We're seeing improvement. That's what's important, right?
Exactly. I mean, from 182 penalty minutes in the very first game to not even a mention in this game as far as the minutes. So obviously they kept it a lot more controlled, which is good to see that they learned from the first game, and hopefully they'll learn from every game and just improve as the season goes on.
I hear you. Yeah, you're right. So next game, I bet you we'll be reporting a little different score.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, well, the Gold Pane City Derby girls have a bout coming up in a couple weeks. And as I mentioned earlier, Nate had a chance to sit down with Doreen LaMarche, skater coach for the team. Let's take a look at Nate in conversation with Doreen LaMarche.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm here with Doreen. Doreen, how are you? Doreen LaMarche.
Well, thank you.
And you have another name?
I do. I'm also known as Reenie Rink Rash from the Gold Pane City Derby Girls.
The Gold Pane City Derby Girls. Okay, that's roller derby right here in Quesnel.
Yes,
And
flat track roller derby right here in Quesnel.
Okay, okay, flat track. Okay, let's start at the very, very beginning. Flat track roller derby is different than what some of us may remember on TV in the 70s.
Yeah, that was slanted track roller derby. That was traditionally what we would have watched in the 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s on TV. And in early 2000, a group of ladies down in the States created flat track roller derby, which opened it up to the world, really. Anybody that could find a flat surface, flat smooth surface, could play roller derby.
Okay, and in Quesnel we have a group, and the Gold Pane City Derby Girls, and so let's talk about that group. You're the captain or the coach, or?
I'm a skater usually. Right now I'm coaching as well. We're a skater-run group. We don't have a non-skating coach at the present, but I have an injury, so while I'm healing up, I'm taking care of working with the coaching of the girls and training them up. So yeah.
And as we talk, we did take a visit out to your practice the other day, and we've got some roller derby happening back and forth while we're talking, which is great, so people will get an idea of it. Tell me a little bit about this flat track roller derby, the game.
You have 5 people from each team on the track at a time. 4 from each team are your blockers, and they stand along the straight stretch of an oval track at the front line, and they create what is called the pack. And 1 player from each team stands at a further back line, and they're called the jammers. And their function in the game is to score. And a whistle blows and the pack starts to move, and then a second whistle blows and the jammers start to move. And the jammers will work their way through the pack of skaters, and on that first pass, the first girl through becomes the lead jammer, and that just means that she has the right to call the jam off before the 2-minute jam clock runs out, if she chooses to. And so they lap the pack, and on their second time through the pack, they score a point for every opposing team member that they pass. And so your job as a blocker is to facilitate your jammer through, but mostly to kill the opposing team's jammer.
So it's full contact. It's there. And,
it is.
Yeah.
It's not the cutthroat that it used to be. It's a lot more structured, a lot more rules. It's a lot. For a full contact sport, it's safer than it used to be, but of course the things in the 70s and 80s were orchestrated
for
entertainment purposes,
right.
and this is far more an authentic sport and requires a great level of athleticism and training and skill, and it's fun because you still do get to hip check and shoulder check the opposing team members, so it's really great that way.
So I imagine the women involved get to really know each other. You become a team, and you've got these nicknames. Like yours is Reenie Rink Rash.
Yeah.
And who else do you work with, is on your team?
We have a wide variety of derby girls. Their derby names are a big part of it. Oftentimes your derby name has a lot to do with an alter ego that you'd kind of like to let live and set free. And so my name actually is a spin-off of a nickname I had in high school. My name's Doreen, and Reenie comes out of that somehow. And so Reenie Rink Rash was something that the girls actually developed for me and said that's what it's got to be. And so now I'm Reenie Rink Rash, or Triple R. We have girls that their names have to do with something that's important to them. One of our girls, Sizzle Her, loves bacon.
Okay. Good.
And another girl, her name is Raelle, and we always call her Ray Ray, and that developed into Sugar Ray, so her derby name is Sugar Ray. We have a Thunder Chuck. We have You'll See Pain. We have
You'll See Pain.
You'll See Pain, yeah, that's a favorite. We have a Patty Aches. we have a crazy train. We have, if I could list them all, some of them are probably going to be cursing me because I didn't get them, but a wide variety, and some of them have to do with their personality and some have to do with the alter ego that they've created for themselves, and some just have to do with food they love.
Okay, good, excellent. So you guys get together every week, practice, but then you also have bouts. And when do these take place? And are you the champions of the Caribou or what?
We're on our way to being the champions.
All right.
We're actually the baby team of the Caribou right now. Prince George and Williams Lake both have teams, and they've been up and running for several years. We practice twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays right now. And we've had our first 2 bouts as Gold Pane City Derby girls out of town this season. And we have our first home bout, May 26th at the Twin Arenas. Doors open at 6 o'clock and the game whistle blows at 7 o'clock. Tickets are going to be available at the new running store downtown, and I think I've just forgotten the name of that new running store. Crosstown at the West Quesnel Barber Shop, as well as on the hill at the Shark Club. Woo, had to access my little Rolodex.
We'll try to get that information.
Yeah, so that'll be our first home bout.
Okay, so you're looking forward to that, hey? But you've had bouts here before. Last year, Billy Barker Days was big for you.
Huge.
For your team.
It was, and it was huge for our team, but it was also huge for roller derby because we only had a few girls that could play at the time. And we challenged Prince George to a bout. Prince George came down. We had to put together a team, so we borrowed players from Williams Lake and from Kamloops and from Kelowna, and those girls came to play for us. They put on our T-shirt.
Okay, the Gold Pane City Derby girls,
and played for us to a crowd of 1,300 people, and most of them had never, ever played in front of that many people before. So we were so impressed with the attendance. It was incredible, and the enthusiasm for a sport that most people had no idea what was going on the track, except girls were hitting each other and knocking each other down, and it was a great success. Yeah.
So the crowd was into it then, hey?
They were,
even though they didn't know what the scoring was or anything.
No, they were totally into it. Totally into it.
And so this Billy Barker Days.
This Billy Barker Days will mark the 2nd annual Gold Rush Rumble. On the Friday night, July 20th, we will be having a doubleheader this year. So we will have 4 teams coming to play. We'll be playing against a team from Kamloops, the Tournament City Derby Dolls, and the Williams Lake City Derby girls will be playing against the rated PG girls from Prince George. So it will be fantastic derby action.
So we got a couple of bouts coming up, so that's great.
Yeah.
But what attracted you originally to this, Reenie?
I've always loved sports. I love team sports. I love the camaraderie and the teamwork, and but I was especially attracted to roller derby because of the aggressive side of it. I'm generally, I think, known as a pretty cheerful, nice person, and there's Doreen and her smile. Reenie Rink Rash still has a smile, but she's got a little devil inside of her too.
Good.
Yeah, I like to work hard and see what I want to see what my body can do, and I want to see how it makes out on that track with a bunch of other women who are trying to knock me down, see if I can be the one to knock them and give them a little rink rash before they have a chance to give me rink rash.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's get that straight. The next bout again?
The next bout is May 26th here at the Twin Arenas. We go away for an out-of-town bout on June 23rd against the Tournament City Derby Dolls. And then we're back here July 20th for Billy Barker Days. It'll be a doubleheader, and the doors will open a little earlier that night, but the whistle will go just half an hour early, 6:30 instead of 7 o'clock. So May 26th and July 20th, Quesnel can come out and cheer us on.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Really appreciate you being with me today, and good luck with the Quesnel Gold Pane City Derby girls.
Thank you. Thanks
very
much, Nate.
Okay. Okay, back to Elson and Mitch.
What an awesome interview. Does that ever look like fun, doesn't it, Mitch?
It's awesome.
I tell you, if I wasn't in that chair, seriously, that is something I could see myself out there. I absolutely loved roller skating as a kid, and yeah, right up my alley.
Let's add a little physical contact into that.
Exactly, why not, right? Hey, like, we're ladies, and like Doreen was saying in her interview, you know, it's a good way of getting some of that aggression out, which is, yeah, a really neat interview.
Fantastic.
So I know I'll be there on the 26th. Out there cheering for the Gold Pane City Derby girls, so hopefully you'll be there too. All right, moving along, we've got the photo of the day taken once again by our good friend Dave Sutton. He was out and about last weekend, and he attended a performance of The Wedding Singer put on by the Coraloo Players at Chuck Mobley Theatre. And always, of course, we thank Dave for providing us with our photos of the day.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave. Well, last week we announced our first photo of the week contest winner, and I now have the pleasure once again of announcing this week's winner, Julia Montgomery. And she took a beautiful photo of an eagle landing on a tree in live action. Beautiful shot, so congratulations. As our weekly winner, Julia will receive a copy of this great golf privilege book that we're giving away here at Q Today, thanks to a sponsorship from the Lung Association of BC. It's a great little book with lots of savings at golf courses all over BC, east to Manitoba, and even some in Washington State. And both Quesnel courses are also included with some great coupons in there. The Golf Privilege book normally sells for $35, but here at Q Today, it could be yours for the price of just one picture. Even if you're not a golfer, it would make a great gift. So congratulations to our winner, Julia Montgomery. She got herself one of these books.
Great.
And we'll be making another draw next week and every week until the end of June. So get your local photos to us today at qcatv.ca to get entered.
All right. Congratulations to Julia. What a great photo.
It's fantastic. Beautiful photo.
Yeah. All right, so next up, it's time to take a look at local events with our community calendar.
Well, that's it for this show. If you'd like to give us any feedback or tips on any news you think we should be covering at Q Today, you can contact us by email at qtoday@qcatv.ca. If you'd like to be a sponsor or volunteer, you can also call Nate at 992-3650 or call the station and leave a message for John at 992-8363.
Remember, Q Today is produced by QMag, the Quesnel Media Access Group. You can also watch us on the internet on Quesnel Community Access TV. That website is qcatv.ca, and it's run by our colleague and friend Eddie D'Souza.
Again, thanks for watching. Remember, our purpose is to get Quesnel talking.
Bye for now.